Hi, I'm Megan Walker, and welcome to 365 Community Chats. So what is this? Well, it's a podcast and YouTube video series where I sit down and chat with members of the Power Platform, Dynamics and Microsoft community. So sit down, get comfy, and let's catch up with someone. It's my first episode, so I thought it only fitting I ask my good friend Lisa Crosbie for a chat. She and I started the Up podcast in 2020 during a pandemic, and it was a great way to share what was new in the Power Platform. Lisa's a Microsoft Business Applications MVP and a Power Platform and Dynamics 365 Evangelist for a partner in Melbourne, Australia. I want to know what she's been up to and what she genuinely is most passionate and excited about in her work each day. Let's have a chat. Hello, Lisa.
Hello, Megan. Fancy seeing you here.
Does this feel a little bit weird?
It's vaguely familiar, except that we've got
Familiar,
a
but
on
different.
camera.
I know, that's the strange part, is like we're going to put these faces out there for people to see.
This is what we look like.
Yeah. So are you still in lockdown where you are? Or some form of lockdown?
No, and we've actually just this morning, and I haven't even had a chance to catch up with it, there's some announcement that the last of the restrictions, so we're hitting like 90% vax rate, so the last of the restrictions are starting to ease. So
wow,
we are at the kind of getting on with our lives and living with it stage of things, which is
that's awesome.
kind of good, hopefully. Yeah.
So when you say like about 95% of vaccinations, do you also have like the two to do? So is it 90% of having second or just going through the first?
90% of over 12s double vaccinated is the target that we're about to hit, and that's the last step on the roadmap.
Wow, that's pretty fast considering that you were a bit behind in terms of even getting vaccinations over there.
We were very late to the party, but then we've rocked up very, very promptly.
Very quick.
So, yeah, that's in Melbourne. That's in Victoria, where I live. The rest of Australia is at different stages, higher or lower than that. But generally speaking, we've caught up pretty quickly once we finally got there. So
good. Okay, thank goodness you can go out into the world again, which is a bit scary.
Yes.
So one of the things, obviously we talk on the podcast all the time and we're talking about different things that are going on. Some of it you're more interested in me, vice versa. Some of the things are just, these are going on and maybe neither of us are kind of like involved in that area. So from a day-to-day perspective, like what are you primarily focused on, or could it be literally any day, anything?
Yeah. The second thing, actually, so I can give you a bit of a tip, so my job is called Evangelist, and it is sometimes a pre-sales job. It is sometimes a marketing content job. It's sometimes a demo to a strategic customer RFP, which is a bit like pre-sales, I suppose. Sometimes it's training in the after effect. Sometimes it's running events. Sometimes it's just filling in a gap of, hey, here's a thing that doesn't fit anybody else's job, and I can do that thing. So yeah, it is very different every day. I do spend a lot of time on it is helping customers understand what's possible with the platform. That's pretty much the remit, I suppose, but it comes in all of those different various forms, but it is very different every day, and I have to be able to roll with it being unexpectedly derailed at any moment into, we need you for this, we need you for that, which is the nature of it, and I'm totally up for that.
I was going to say, but it seems like that's the perfect fit for like, oh yeah, we're going here, we're going there. Yeah.
I can roll with that, and I get bored if it's too predictable. So, as much as it stresses me out some days, I'll just go, wow, my day got derailed. I choose to do that, and I continue to choose to do that.
Yeah. We would hate each other's jobs because I'm like, I need some format of like, I know what I'm going to do even for the week. Sometimes I'm like, it's okay. I know what's coming each day and I'm fine with that.
So you and I are actually more different than people might realize. We have all these things in common, but we are actually very different people, despite the fact that people confuse us as the same.
Well, I was going to say that when Lisa and I popped up on for this recording, and I was like, We look really similar today. Our hair's about the same length. We're both wearing this blue. I don't know. I just think we're sort of, yeah. But you're right. We are a
Yeah.
lot more different than people might think. But in terms of then, so if you, I know you love doing different things all the time, but what would you say that you sort of, for you, you feel like if you're going to be doing this today, that's a good day. That's something that you're like really, not just like regular excited, but like really, really excited.
Top level, Lisa,
Top
excited.
level
I
excitement.
think there are two things. I think the top of the list for me, and I know people kind of don't necessarily get this, and it's a thing that you certainly don't, you and I don't align on this, but when there is a big event, so something like Ignite, even virtually, and I'll get up in the wee hours of the morning, but for me, being immersed in getting across the new stuff, interpreting and communicating that for people, creating content around that. Some of that's my job, some of that's my community work, but even for the job, I need to be across the new stuff and helping other people internally get across the new stuff, helping our customers get across that. I get a real buzz from that. There's always a pattern for me of getting immersed in that and feeling like in my brain, what else is going to be possible for our customers? How can I help them understand this? How can we help them benefit from it? So that's a good day for me, that kind of stuff. I think the other thing that always works out to be a good day for me is in front of a customer doing a demo, but I don't mean a standard demo because, okay, I mean, great, that's part of the job, but a demo that's more like, we want to understand this thing properly and ask you lots of questions and workshop it a bit and figure it out together. That is a really good thing that I love doing. And I think it's a thing that not many people love doing. To me, the more unexpected it is, the more fun it is. If I'm turning up and working through a script and I'm done, great. Whereas if I turn up and it's like, we want to talk to you for 90 minutes and we want this thing, but we don't really know what's possible. And we want to ask you about this and that. And I'm going in my brain, right. Yeah. Okay. That's going to also include that part of the platform. And here's how we would solve the problem. And on the fly, I'm bringing up things and helping put together a little bit of light solutioning on the fly and extra demos on the fly. I love doing that. And it's challenging and fun. And I think scares most people, and I'm like, hit me with your questions. I don't work from that. Yeah.
The requirements side of things, I actually really, I'm the same as you in that respect. It's then when I'm in the middle of building it and then they decide to be like, oh yeah, we forgot about this massive thing that's a really big deal that we must have.
I don't do that job. In pre-sales, it's all like, let's explore that. Let's open the can of worms and see what's there and figure out what's possible. That's very different from we've contracted to do this work and now you've changed your mind. But that's not the job that I do.
No, so you don't really
so that
care.
art of possible stuff, I guess, it's a bit of a catchphrase, I suppose, but both of those things are art of possible. What's possible with the new stuff? Where can we take people with this? And what's possible with, pick my brain, ask me questions, let me show you things, let me help you understand how this will work and look and feel and help you by the end of that thing. What is possible here for you? So there's a theme for me in that, just kind of helping people understand what's possible, whether it's something brand new or we need to understand how this could work for us at a smaller current scale. So that's my happy zone. Yeah.
So in terms of like the events, I think, and we always kind of like joke when it comes to things like Ignite or whatever, and it's like, okay, great, woohoo, and I know that you're excited, and we sort of joke and tease each other, but at the same time, if there were not people like you that that's how your sort of personality was, and that's what that gave you the energy, then people like me would have to watch all of the sessions to find out what's going on. So I know. So, but it, I joke, but there are so many reasons for so many people why an event like that is just it's too much, either time wise, mentally wise, focus wise, all the rest of it. So to have someone like you that's doing like the top 10, or even prior to the event where you can look through and be like, I can read between the lines, or I know who that
Yeah.
person is enough to know that these are the top things that we probably need to be paying attention to. So I'm grateful for that, because like I said, for me, it's lack of time, and also a bit mentally where I'm like, I just can't sit and watch through all of those. So it's great that we have different personalities, that there are people that can go off and do that and then create this awesome content for it. So thank you.
And I've always thought about the community as, I've used this analogy before, where it's like it's a big potluck dinner. Like everyone brings their thing to the table, and then we all benefit from all of the things that people bring to the table. And I didn't necessarily start out going, I want to be what's new and exciting person, but I went there and I love it. And I do the same thing with the release notes. You know, do I want to sit up the day that I get my hands on 400 pages of release notes and pour over that? Yeah, actually, yes, I do. I really do. And do I want to sit with OneNote and go, oh, is that important? And I'm making, I seriously will spend a decent amount of time really thinking through those things. And the more I do that, the more value I can bring to it. Because as you say, I can start to read the patterns and read between the line and go, oh, there's something in that. It's understated, but it matters. And then that's my thing that I bring to the table. Whereas you're going deep into, marketing at the moment, and I draw on your videos. And so that whole thing of community, of everyone bringing their thing, and that we don't all like to do the same thing, but then we all benefit from what everyone does. I mean, that's the best.
I know. It's pretty spectacular, isn't it? Because and any time, and the other thing you talk about, going through those release notes, and then there are hidden gems that actually either weren't in there, or we missed, or we misinterpreted, or it wasn't written in a way to where it stood out. And then later on, it's like, how the heck did we miss that? And somebody else has zoned in on it and done a video, and you're like, oh, thank you that you didn't miss that. So yeah, I agree. It's a very complimentary with so many people in the community. It's a wonderful thing. So your content stuff, which, by the way, this might be premature, but I think I need to congratulate you, because you're probably about to hit how many? 4,000?
Oh, so you got to hold that for another month or so. My aim is to get to 5,000
No,
by
but
the
that's what I'm
end
saying.
of December.
I think you're going to get it.
I think
you're going to get it.
I'm going to get very close. Yeah. So I had, for context, I had 400 in January, and I'd had my YouTube channel for ages. I'd done a bit in 2020. Maybe I'd done something in 2019. I'd just done every couple of months, I'd done something, but I'd never tried. And I got to the start of the year, and I had that moment of, I'm like, put me on the stage, let me talk to people. And of course, the world doesn't allow for that. And I think after what we went through in 2020 here, I just in 2021 at the start of the year thought I need to take control of something that isn't dependent. Like, I don't know when big events are coming back. And if I sit around waiting for that, it makes me miserable. And what if I tried? What if I focused? And I started looking at other people who were successful on YouTube, including people in the tech space who have 1 million subscribers, like really big. And I was watching that content thinking, there's no reason I can't learn to do that. Like that fundamentally, I like explaining stuff. I learned to talk to a camera. So I started getting into it and got some kit and got some skills. And now I look at what I did a year ago and go, wow, I thought that was good. Because I've improved as I've done it more. And I've gone from 400 to getting from 400 to 1,000 was hard work, because I was really, even though I had 400, it was 400 acquired over 2 years. Like, I didn't have any traction. So it might as well have been pretty close to zero.
And that can take so long, can't it? To even when you're like the first 100, and I remember the feeling of like, I've got 100, and then it just seems to take forever. And you're like, oh, I'm at 500, and then it takes forever, and it's 1,000, and then it's after that where it seems to be, the incremental, aspect of it, in terms of like, oh my God, I've hit 2,000 or whatever.
And I think I said to you when I was going to do this in January, I said, I've got 400. Do you reckon I could aim for 2,000 this year? Like, I thought that was audacious to sort of go, I could aim for 2,000, and now I'm going to get very close to 5. So well worth the effort, and putting something out there has actually, again, with all of the community stuff, the more you put out there, the more you get back. And the amount of stuff I've had back from doing that YouTube content has been worth every moment of the effort of it, in addition to the excitement of getting possibly 5,000 subscribers in the year.
I think as well, we talked about this on the Up podcast. If you're not aware, we do a podcast, but we've talked about in terms of the different formats and the different types of content, where doing a podcast like over a year and a half ago, I would have been like, nah, I'm never going to do a podcast. And then Circumstantial is, what put us into saying, oh, should we do something together? And now where this is something where I feel comfortable with, and I know you did your live stream with Eliza Benitez, and that's something you've talked about wanting to sort of potentially explore that a little bit more. So I think that to me is almost like, it's not as exciting as Dynamics and Power Platform, but that to me, I love that whole other avenue of getting to do things that are marketing related for my own brand, and then be like, oh, let me now delve into this. Let me work on honing my video skills a little bit more. Let me do my intro a little bit different, my outro, all of that sort of stuff. That it's like a whole other thing, isn't it, that you get to dabble in?
Yeah. Yes. And sometimes, I'm a big believer in rolling with opportunities as they present themselves. The podcast was circumstantial out of where we found ourselves. My YouTube thing was also circumstantial, but both of those things have led to incredible, awesome things that I'm very glad happened. And, my whole career and my job, even this notion of having a job where I roll with things, I've always found that sort of rolling with the next opportunity and making the best of it, and that turns into the next thing, is pretty much how I've got to everywhere of what I do. So I love that stuff.
So what if you had to pick, I'll say one, but I know you, so I know you'll slide in a second one or a bonus one. But if you could say that there's one thing that you're either most excited about that's either new or coming out, or that's new to you, so it could be something you've just started learning or delving into that could be around for a while, but what would you say that you're sort of most passionate or excited about at the minute?
Oh, look, I think the biggest thing, I will stick to one, but it's a multifaceted one. So,
Of course it is, Lisa.
Do you know me? I'd be disappointed if I didn't say that. For me, this thing of collaboration and business application. So in the video that I did on Ignite, this was my number one thing. So what we've got right now is this idea of Teams chat embedded in Dynamics. What's coming soon is then Dynamics in these Microsoft Loop components in Teams and Outlook. And it's exciting for me because this is a real moment in rethinking how these types of things work together. As someone who likes to educate and help people understand what's possible, here is a whole world now of shifting in thinking that people are going to need to help understand to get, and how do we get the benefit out of that? So I'm excited by it because it's a cool new piece of technology. But in terms of what I do and what I enjoy doing, how do I help people to understand that shift in thinking? How do we help people to get across it and benefit from it and use it well? And also because, frankly, it gives us an advantage working with the Microsoft platform that other platforms can't do because they don't own their own, they don't own Office 365 or Teams.
Yeah.
Right? So there's that thing of it gives us, and in the end, even though I don't do a sales job, I'm in sales, by nature of the kind of thing I do. So I kind of go, there's a unique advantage to the thing that we work with. There's an opportunity for me to help people get the benefit out of a new innovation and a new unique thing. Plus, it's just really cool. So that's a space. And I think probably for me, for the next 6 to 12 months, that's going to become bigger and bigger and more important in getting people across that and getting the most out of it. And certainly all of that stuff that Microsoft is talking about there is the start of a journey, not the whole journey.
Yeah. And you can combine that with maybe some live streaming, and then you are doing something else that's new and exciting.
I'm definitely going to do some live streaming. I love doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, you should. Absolutely. I think as well, if you look at, so you've got a website, you've got a blog, but ultimately it's your YouTube channel is you. That's where everything's going on. So I think to me, live streaming kind of is just the natural next progression and next step of having that as part of your service.
Honestly,
of content.
It's very generous of you to say it's very generous of you to say I have a blog, because I'm a very neglected, empty blog. I had set up a website with the intention of blogging, and I've done maybe 3 or 4 things there. There's a couple that still get a lot of hits, but I need to somehow make these things, sing together a little bit more, because that my website is sadly neglected because YouTube's fun.
Yeah, but take your videos and just embed it and put it out as a blog. Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, that's pretty much the plan.
Yeah,
I just need to do that.
So you're pretty much coming out of lockdown now. So what would you say you're kind of most looking forward to being able to do that you haven't been able to for a long time?
Yes, so a couple of things. We've got we had people in our house a couple of weeks ago, and we had a bit of a birthday celebration, and I planned food and cooked it and entertained people, and honestly that felt so good to me. Like that there's the part of it is the going out part, but just in the moment of actually having a weekend of being able to entertain people here, I love doing that. And I felt that wonderful sort of, these things are coming back that weekend that we had people here. The other thing I'm really, really looking forward to is getting back to Sydney. So I work for an organisation where a lot of my colleagues are in Sydney, and I have a lot of contact with them. I haven't seen most of them for the best part of 2 years. They're people that I've only ever interacted with virtually. So I am actually getting a chance to go there in December there's some events and things on that are going there that I'm looking forward to. So yeah, just a good time with those people and seeing those people again as well, like reconnecting. I used to spend, 2 weeks a month, and I'd be in Sydney constantly. So it's like one extreme to the other. So for me, that ability we've had state borders closed for most of the last 2 years. So the ability to actually get on a plane and go and be with the colleagues that I work with in the other part of the country is something that will make me feel more like things are back to normal. That was a big part of what I used to do, and I do miss that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, those are good things that are starting to happen again.
Nice. And then maybe at some point again we can do international travel, and you can make it back here, or I can make it over there, and we can see each other for the second time.
We did at least meet in person once before all this happened. I did my trip to the UK in September 2019, and I am grateful every single day of this that I did that when I did, for all the reasons. So yeah, we did at least get to meet once in person. Yeah.
Just once. So, well, thank you for being my very first guest on my very new podcast. I really appreciate it. I thought you would, it seemed fitting that it would be you that would be numero uno. So thank you. I appreciate it. And I guess we'll talk very soon.
We will, and good luck with this. I hope everyone has enjoyed this and keeps watching other episodes, because it won't be me, it'll be other people with diverse interests. And good luck to you with this. I think it's a great idea, and I hope it really takes off.
Thank you. Okay, talk soon. Thanks for watching this episode of 365 Community Chats. I'm your host, Megan V. Walker, and I'll be back soon chatting with someone else from the Power Platform, Dynamics and Microsoft community. If you enjoyed this, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell for notifications.